Adam, thank you so much. We've run out of time. I was going to do my cup song for you, but I
Oh
just I
man.
just can't. I'm so sorry, but
Oh,
thank
I'm
you so
sorry,
much for
man.
your time. Megan, how's the day going? I know you got to deal with a lot of this.
It's going great. I feel like as the day goes on, I'm getting crazier and crazier with my answers. So hopefully this will be really fun and exciting.
I need you. I'm not a very truthful outlet, so I need you to tell me the weirdest stuff you possibly can.
Okay, great. I'll be thinking of that as you ask me questions.
How was it inheriting this franchise, this universe from two other powerful women like Elizabeth and Kay?
Yeah, I mean, that was really important to me. And it's a reason why I have been a fan of it, is that as a young comedy writer who wanted to make female comedy, Elizabeth and Kay were both people I really looked up to. I've known Kay for many years. And when I started this show, I reached out to her and was like, I want to do honor to Bumper, as if this was the most serious thing of all time. But so I'm excited to see what she thinks of this. But, it was a responsibility that I took seriously.
Yeah, and I also noticed this. It's your first show that you are running and EPing and in charge of. I think that's got to be kind of like a high step for you. I mean, obviously you come from some of the best shows on television, especially The Simpsons, but I mean, this is like a really, really huge next leap.
Yeah, I mean, like I was very lucky to have written for, as you say, like a lot of different types of comedy shows. I wrote for Parks and Rec and The Good Place for cumulatively many years, and Mike Schur, who created those shows, I think like really taught me and modeled what a good showrunner is and allowed me to help run the room at The Good Place. So I felt in some ways prepared. There also were things that you just cannot anticipate in being thrown into a showrunner role in a city across the world. And it was a really good learning experience.
That's so awesome to hear. What was Bumper is not really, I mean, if he was somebody I would choose to do the spinoff of, then yeah, I would probably choose that big name character. But who else would you have thought of to bring in? And if Bumper was not the character that Peacock wanted to go with?
That is a good question. I think the easiest person, or I think it could have been very interesting to see a backstory of the two judges that Elizabeth Banks plays and John Michael Higgins, to be like, how did they get there? What is their backstory? Obviously, I'm sort of drawn to the characters you don't know that much about, because it makes it easier to expand their world into whatever you want it to be. So Bumper I really liked because, one, I'm obsessed with Adam DeVine, but two, all we knew is that he was kind of a villain who was a little full of himself. And I thought it would be a fun challenge to ease him into a more three-dimensional character.
And were you concerned at all about Pitch Perfect, great franchise, but the acapella thing, was that ever like, oh, this is still not as cool as it once was?
Well, I would say, at the risk of maybe getting eaten for it, is that acapella was never cool, but that's what makes it cool. It's not pretending to be anything it isn't. And I'm a huge dork. Like, I love musical theater. I love acapella. I have for many years. And there's something so sincere about the people who love acapella that just, you can make fun of yourself, but everyone who loves it really does love it. So I think for this show, it is a decade after the first movie. We wanted to have some of that OG acapella, but then also have original songs, cover songs. We have an original song written by Ryan Tedder, who's like a huge songwriter. So hopefully it's got something for everyone.
Hey, and maybe this will get you your Emmy.
Thank you so much for saying that. That's actually the only reason I did this show.
Thank you, Megan, for sitting down with me. I appreciate it.
It was so nice to talk to you. Have a good day.
Nice to talk to you. Bye. Hey Adam, how's it going?
What's up, Chad? How's it going? Nice to meet you.
I'm doing well, thank you, and nice to meet you too. I've seen a lot of the show because it is out officially, and I gotta
Hmm.
say, congratulations! It's a gorgeous, beautiful show. It looks fantastic. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a big part. Todd Strauss Schulson, he was our director and for the first two episodes, and he really set the tone of Todd is a friend of mine. He directed me in Isn't It Romantic, a movie I did with Rebel. And he's just such he's just such a great director who captures um, like he's so visual, and I wanted this to not feel like a little show. I wanted it to feel big and beautiful, and I think Todd pulled it off.
Yeah, it's so grandiose, and just like the first three movies, it's very funny, but unlike those, it has to condense all the jokes into half an hour, and there's a
Hmm.
stark contrast between how the movies work and how the show works, and that's what really plays in your favor.
Yeah, I think with movie, it's just storytelling. It's a different format. It's more of a slow burn because you got to arc, 60 minutes in and then get to the finish line. But with a show, you're right. It's 30 minutes long, so the pace is much faster, which I tend to like. I came from TV doing Workaholics and Modern Family, so I like that fast pace.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of workaholics, your Bumper reminds me a lot of Adam in the show and Kelvin, Gemstone, and Sam I Am because they all share this sort of desperation that they want to be liked by the people around them. And even though it's kind of variable, especially from a kid show to this show, it's all basically a big part of you. But not you're not desperate or anything.
No, I think I love playing characters like that. I love playing like, especially like Adam DeVine from Workaholics and Bumper from Pitch Perfect is sort of there's like even though they're total idiots, there's like a sweetness to them, which I really tried to bring to this version of Bumper, because last time we saw Bumper, it was 7 years ago now, and you definitely saw Bumper grow in the second movie where he's actually open to having feelings with Fat Amy, and then uh now 7 years later you see like his life is just in the toilet. He hasn't done anything with his life, and I think that's relatable to people, to be like, I wish I could just pack up all my stuff right now, move to a different city and start over and like go after my dreams. And I think it's a little bit of wish fulfillment where Bumper gets to do that. And look at this crazy little maniac go.
Right. And also I want to know how it was like reuniting not only with the character but with Sarah and Flula and people that you've worked with before.
Well, Flula, I just love. I mean, I've known him now for like a decade, and he's just insanely talented, super funny, and I feel like the world just needs more Flula. So super happy to have him be such a huge part of this series. And then Sarah is like, I feel like between her and Rebel, I'm like always surrounded by such super talented co-stars to act opposite against. Sarah is just one of those actors. I say she's going to be like Betty White. She's going to be like 98 years old and still acting and still killing it because she's just that damn good. So I'm happy to be just a little blip on her amazing, talented career.
And last thing I want to ask you is there a song that you would love to tackle in this world that you've yet to do?
I was talking a little bit about that with Elizabeth Banks, and I would love to do something more like Motowny, because I
Mhm.
feel like that would be so fun to do, but he's never really had the chance to like. Uh, it's usually more pop, more current pop music, but I think like Bumper doing Aretha Franklin Respect, I think would be really fun,
Exactly.
because he gets none. No one respects this guy.
Adam, thank you so much. We run out of time. I was going to do my cup song for you, but I
man.
just can't. I'm so sorry, but
Oh,
thank
I'm
you so
sorry,
much for
man.
your time.
All right. Take care, man. Nice
All
to
right,
meet you.
bye.